McGill University, 1954. James Olds and Peter Milner implant a hair-thin electrode into the nucleus accumbens of a rat, a region so deep in the brain it had barely been mapped. They give the rat a lever. Pressing the lever delivers a small electrical pulse directly to its reward center. They expect curiosity. They get obsession. The rat presses the lever 7,000 times in 1 hour. It ignores food. It ignores water. It presses until its legs give out. Olds and Milner don't publish the conclusion yet. We'll get there. But here's what I need you to sit with first. It's somewhere between midnight and 2 a.m. The room is quiet. You've already told yourself you're done for the night, and then something pulls your hand back to the phone. You know what's there. You've seen it before. You go anyway. That isn't weakness. That is a rat pressing a lever. Someone else knows this feeling. They'd been pressing their lever for 11 months before they understood why they couldn't stop. Here's what Olds and Milner actually found. The rats weren't experiencing pleasure. The electrode wasn't triggering satisfaction. It was triggering wanting, the neurochemical signal that says, more of this now, completely detached from any actual reward. The dopamine system doesn't deliver pleasure. It delivers anticipation, and it cannot distinguish between a nutrient-dense meal and a slot machine. Both activate the same circuitry. Both encode the same command, do that again. Think of it as a thermostat. A normal thermostat reads the room temperature and adjusts toward a set point. Your brain's reward system works the same way, except stress recalibrated the set point years ago, and now the system runs constant heat trying to reach a baseline it can never quite hit. The thermostat isn't broken, it's stuck on the wrong temperature. Here's the specific mechanism. In the nucleus accumbens, dopamine floods the synapse every time you anticipate a reward, not receive it, anticipate it. Your brain catalogs the trigger. It builds a map. Over time, the map becomes the territory. You don't see a cupcake anymore. You see relief. You don't see the phone. You see the feeling that comes after you've checked it. Dr. Judson Brewer at Brown University calls this subjective bias, the moment when the object disappears and only the craving remains. Your brain isn't broken. It's running software optimized for a world that no longer exists, and it downloaded that software trying to keep you alive. Now here's why you cannot willpower your way out of this. And it's not a motivational statement, it's physics. Richard Solomon at the University of Pennsylvania formalized opponent process theory in 1980. The principle is simple and ruthless. Every time the brain registers a rewarding stimulus, it automatically generates an equal and opposite suppression, a counterforce designed to return the system to neutral. The first time you use the loop, the reward is strong and the withdrawal is mild. The 10th time, the reward is moderate and the withdrawal is uncomfortable. The 100th time, the reward barely registers and the withdrawal is the only thing you feel when you stop. This is the biological debt. Every use of the loop is a loan with a compounding interest rate. The relief gets smaller, the cost gets larger. Willpower isn't failing you because you're indisciplined. Willpower is failing you because the opponent process has already adjusted the baseline. You're not trying to stop a habit. You're trying to stop a thermostat that has been reprogrammed at the hardware level. Now add the second mechanism. In fMRI research published by Brewer's lab, the posterior cingulate cortex, the brain's self-referential hub, shows elevated activation during active craving. It doesn't just respond to the trigger, it rehearses it. It replays the anticipated reward on loop, generating the sensation of wanting in the complete absence of the original stimulus. This is the default mode network turning against you. It was designed for planning and memory. In a dysregulated reward system, it becomes a projector, running the same film on repeat until you give it what it's asking for. The person who'd been pressing their lever for 11 months sat with this in a therapist's office one afternoon. Their cortisol was chronically elevated. Their dopamine baseline had shifted so far that ordinary moments, a meal, a conversation, a quiet evening, registered as nothing. They weren't depressed, their thermostat was just broken. They almost stopped trying that day. They didn't know what was happening in their brain. They thought they were the problem. They weren't the problem. The software was. The intervention Judson Brewer developed asks you not to resist the loop. It asks you to look at it clearly, possibly for the first time. Day 1. Zero ground. The first thing the protocol asks you to do is not to stop. It asks you to pay attention, precisely, clinically, without judgment, at the exact moment the trigger fires. When the urge arrives, the PCC activates and begins its rehearsal. The anticipated reward floods your attention. What the protocol does at this moment is introduce a disruptor. Curiosity. Not about why you're craving, about how it actually feels in your body. Where does the sensation live? What is its texture? Is it tight or diffuse? Does it move or stay fixed? This is not a distraction technique. It is a direct input into the same neural loop. When you get genuinely curious about the sensation, Brewer's fMRI data shows the PCC quiets, not because you suppressed it, but because curiosity and craving cannot fully occupy the same attentional space. In his studies, participants reduced PCC activity measurably within 9 to 20 minutes of sustained curious observation. The thermostat doesn't reset overnight, but it registers the new input. For the next 4 days, at the moment a craving fires, set a timer for 90 seconds. Do not act on it. Do not resist it. Observe it. Name the physical sensation in your body out loud, one sentence. Then close the journal. The act of labeling activates the prefrontal cortex, the exact structure the craving loop was suppressing. Day 3, the dead zone. This is the hardest day. Mark it now so you're not surprised when it arrives. On day 3, the opponent process counterforce is at maximum amplitude. The dopamine anticipation signal is still firing, but the behavior isn't following, which means the withdrawal state has nothing to suppress it. You will feel flat, irritable. You may feel like the protocol isn't working. It is working. What you are feeling is the opponent process running without its counterpart. That flatness is not emptiness. It is the sound of the thermostat recalibrating. The discomfort is not a sign that you are failing. It is the precise biological marker that the loop is losing its grip. When the flatness peaks, don't analyze it. Write down one physical sensation you notice in your body right now. One sentence. Then close the journal. The act of labeling activates the prefrontal cortex, the exact structure the craving loop was suppressing. Day 7. The signal. By day 7, something shifts. It is not dramatic. It is quiet. The person who'd been pressing their lever for 11 months described it this way. A full panic attack arrived one afternoon, the kind that used to send them spiraling for days. Instead of tracking the thought, they tracked the sensation. Chest pressure, shallow breath, a pulse in the throat. They named each one. The PCC quieted. The panic dissolved in under 4 minutes, not because they conquered it, but because curiosity broke the loop. That is not willpower. That is a mechanism corrected. Research from Peter Gallwitzer at New York University shows that when people articulate a specific implementation intention, when X happens, I will do Y, follow-through rates increase by up to 300% compared to motivation-based intentions alone. Stating a plan aloud changes the neural encoding of that plan. The prefrontal cortex treats spoken commitment differently from silent intention. So state it, not to me, to yourself, out loud. Here is the evolutionary reality. Your brain will always optimize toward the lowest energy path. That is not a flaw. That is the design. The only question is whether you choose which path gets optimized or whether the loop makes that choice for you. Evolution doesn't care which one wins. It only cares that something does. The protocol is 7 days. Start tonight. It's 2 a.m. again. The room is the same. The phone is in your hand. But something is different now. You know what's happening in the nucleus accumbens. You know why the PCC is running its rehearsal. You know the thermostat set point, and you know the exact input that begins to move it. You still feel the pull,
You just know what it is.